It's Monday, October 20th, 1986, 10:07 a.m. Morales and I are on our way to Beverly Estates, 1327. Apparently, the housekeeper found some celebrity rich type's body this morning. We'll know more soon. The body of an A-list actress, Miss Stacy Castle, was found this morning just after 9 a.m. by her housekeeper, Mrs. Maria Salazar, when she was arriving for work. Salazar states that when she arrived, the door was locked, so she used her key to enter the home. She set her belongings on the kitchen counter and went to open the curtains, as she does every morning, and that's when she saw Miss Castle's body. She immediately called us and then sat outside waiting our arrival. On the floor, inside of a giant pentagram made of salt, the victim confirmed as Miss Stacy Castle lies naked. She is tied by the arms and legs with 4 ropes, each connected to a metal pin which seems to have been driven into the floor. Her body lay sprawled out, as if it was about to be quartered. It appears the victim died of a single stab wound to the chest, more specifically the heart. The knife appears to be the type used in ritualistic practices. A cult, maybe? It appears that the blood drained from her body and ran into a corner. I guess even the rich have crooked houses. There is broken glass everywhere. It appears to be from a mirror. On the back side of a Polaroid photograph, it appears that the victim drew in her own blood the number 3. Or perhaps the killer or killers used the victim's hand themselves, most likely post-mortem. The scene is like something out of a horror film. It appears to have been scripted well. First glance tells me that whoever did this didn't leave much to go on. But then again, who does? Unless they want me to find them. Mrs. Salazar states that the victim had a dinner party last night. A bunch of her Hollywood friends. She said that they all left at the same time, around 1:15 a.m. Only she and Miss Castle remained. Salazar finished cleaning up from the party, and once she was finished, she asked Miss Castle if there was anything else she needed from her, and Miss Castle said, "That will be all," and sent her home. She claims that she locked the door behind her on her way out. That was at 2:15 a.m. Mrs. Salazar has named the guest at the party as a Mr. Kevin Walters, which is Miss Castle's boyfriend. He left the party early last night to go to London on business. Mrs. Salazar states that just before he left, she overheard Miss Castle yelling something about a bloody onion to him through the ceiling in the kitchen while she was making dessert for the party. The other guests included a Miss Trish, a Miss Heather, a Miss Crystal, a Mr. Michael, and a Mr. Brad, and 2 others whose names she does not know. Hopefully we can put last names to these and figure out who the 2 mystery guests are. Apparently there are too many fingerprints to count, so while they were working on that downstairs, Morales and I check out the 2nd floor. Upon searching the bedroom of the victim, we have discovered a razor blade and some cocaine residue lying on a mirror on a nightstand. Beside it, a small piece of paper with a phone number on it. No name. We also found the victim's handbag. Inside is an address book / planner. A quick scan shows the name that matches those that Mrs. Salazar has mentioned. Inside the planner is a list of appointments showing Miss Castle's whereabouts for the past few months. Under Saturday, it states only hair appointment 1 p.m. and dancing with the girls at 9. Yesterday appears that she had lunch with a Miss Crystal Lang and a Miss Heather Rowland at Chateau Dresden at 12:30 p.m. Tucked in between pages of the planner, we also discovered a few ATM receipts dated yesterday. Multiple withdrawals, all different locations. They total $17,000. There was only $344 in her purse. On the bed, we found a screenplay entitled Scars and Honey. And we also found a micro-cassette recorder, same model as mine, the T150X. Apparently, the actress liked to record her lines while she read through them. Anyway, we're going to look through this address book and track down the guest from last night. Captain said he wanted to solve today. Yeah, right. We have nothing. A dead body, missing money, no suspects. We just called that number we found on the nightstand, and no surprise, no answer. So I guess to save time, we're bringing everyone from the party in to see us. That's some good news, right? No legwork. Good afternoon, Mr. Holliday. I am Detective Stone, and this is my partner, Detective Morales.
I would really like to know why I was drugged down here. I'm supposed to be on set in 15 minutes.
The film will have to wait, Mr. Holliday.
What do you mean, wait? The film just doesn't wait.
Your lead actress, Miss Castle, was found dead this morning.
No, you must be mistaken. I just spoke to Stacy on the phone last night. She went to bed right after that. She will be at the studio if you'd like to accompany me there and see for yourself.
Unfortunately, Mr. Holliday, this information is correct. We've already identified the body as Miss Castle.
I can't... Where did you find her?
In her home, Mr. Holliday. We just need you to answer some questions for us about the events that took place last night. Can you do that for us?
Yes. Anything. What do you want to know?
How long have you known Miss Castle?
Well, about 4 years. Met her on the set of Mutant Babysitter. She was an extra. I fired the lead and gave it to her. She's been in all my films since.
Mutant Babysitter? Is that the one where
the babysitter eats the radioactive popcorn, mutates, and eats the kids? Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Thanks.
Do you know of anyone that may have wanted to hurt Miss Castle or see her dead?
No, not at all. She was adored by everyone that ever met her. She's a star. Well, was a star.
Alright. You were a guest at Miss Castle's dinner party last night, correct?
I was.
What time did you arrive at Miss Castle's?
8:30. We all did.
Punctual.
I brought a bottle of 1893 Chateau Latour that never even got opened. Can I get that back?
Can you tell us who else was at the party?
Let me see. Stacy's boyfriend, Kevin, Brad, our producer, those 2 actresses Stacy hangs out with. I'm not sure of their names. Kevin's attorney and his chick, I don't know her name, and Trish, she was there. That's Stacy's best friend. Her and I had a thing a few years back. Well, that's not important right now. Who else? I think that's it. Oh, the housekeeper. I don't know her name. I don't pay attention to those kind of things.
Were you or anyone else drinking alcohol?
Of course we were, Mr. Stone. What does that have to do with Stacy?
Just answer the question, please, Mr. Holliday. Were you or anyone else partaking in any illegal drugs?
Fine, illegal.
Cocaine, to be specific.
No. Not last night.
Are you referring to everyone or just yourself, Mr. Holliday?
Can you cut the Mr. Holiday crap? I want to help, but I feel like I'm on trial here.
Nobody is on trial here, Mr. Holliday. What would you prefer we call you?
Michael. My name. That's why my parents gave it to me.
Okay, Michael. Now, can you answer the question?
No. Nobody used cocaine last night.
Or any other illegal drugs?
Or any other illegal drugs.
Did you notice anything unusual about Miss Castle or her behavior at the party last night? Think for a moment, please.
No. I don't recall anything out of place. Don't you have a killer to catch? This just seems like you're wasting your time. She was alive and well when we left last night. We had nothing to do with her death.
Mr. Michael, please just answer the question to the best of your knowledge and ability.
Yeah.
So nobody was acting strange at the party last night?
No. Everything was fine.
Do you know why Kevin Walters left the party early?
He had business in London. Not sure of the details, but it's a regular thing for him. You don't think...
We don't think anything yet, Mr. Holliday.
Michael.
Yeah, Michael. What time and who did you end up leaving the party with last night?
It was 1:15. We all left at the same time, actually. It may have been my fault, but the production demands that we get sleep while we can.
What do you mean, your fault?
I simply reminded Stacy that we needed to be well rested for today's shoot. That's all. She didn't even put up a fight. She understood.
What is the name of your film?
Scars and Honey. It's about a young woman who comes to Hollywood to become an actress, but is abducted by a serial killer who she falls in love with.
That ought to be good.
That ought to be good.
Yeah, if it even gets made now.
You said you spoke with Miss Castle on the phone last night.
That's correct.
What time was that?
I don't know. 1:30, 1:45 maybe. I was pulling into my driveway when we got off the phone.
Cellular phone?
Of course, detective.
And she was alone when you spoke to her.
Unless the housekeeper was still around. I don't know what time she left.
And what was your conversation about?
Well, we were discussing a scene. She was unsure about doing it because it was a little too lewd, she said. It involved a little more nudity than she was comfortable with, so I told her we would tone it down. But that we both needed our rest, so we will talk about it tomorrow. That's when I got off the phone, went inside, and went to bed.
Can anyone confirm that?
My wife, she was laying there beside me all night.
Why didn't your wife attend the dinner party, Mr. Holliday?
She was feeling a bit under the weather the past few nights. Is this about Stacy or my wife, Mr. Morales?
Are you familiar with the occult, Mr. Holliday?
Have you seen my films, detective?
Are you involved in any occult practices yourself, Mr. Holliday?
Is he serious? Are you serious?
Just answer the question, Mr. Holliday.
No, I don't practice witchcraft, if that's what you're wondering.
I only have one more question for you, Mr. You said that Miss Castle went to sleep right after you got off the phone with her. How do you know that?
She told me she was going to bed. What the hell? You know what this sounds like to me? You guys are trying to pin this on me. I didn't want Stacy dead, you idiots. She was my star. She made this movie, and now, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Alright, that will be all for now, Mr. Holliday. If we have any more questions, we will contact you.
Thank God. But do me a favor. Contact my attorney. I don't have time for any more of this. I have to find a new lead.
Just make sure you are around if and when we do. It's 2 p.m. About to interview the victim's best friend, Trish Stahl. Hopefully she gives us something better to go on. Oh, and we still haven't been able to reach Mr. Walters in London.
Do you mind if I smoke?
I'm Detective Stone, Miss Stahl. This is Detective Morales.
Delighted.
Do you know why you're here?
No clue.
Miss Stahl, there's no easy way to put this. The body of your friend, Miss Stacy Castle, was found this morning in her home.
Are you sure it's her?
We are sure, Miss Stahl. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Miss Stahl, if you'll allow us, we would like to ask you a few questions so we can figure out exactly what happened to Miss Castle.
If you need a few moments.
No. No, let's do this.
Are you sure, Miss Stahl?
Yes. If somebody killed Stacy, I want them to pay. I want them to burn for what they did. I'll tell you whatever I can to help.
Alright. How long have you and Miss Castle been friends?
Since we were young. We came out here together from Buffalo 3 years ago.
Buffalo?
New York. I got offered a modeling contract, and she came out here with me for support. She had no plans of becoming an actress then. I was the one that suggested she give it a shot. She had always thanked me for that.
Did you go out with Miss Castle on Saturday night by chance?
No.
Know anything about it?
I wasn't aware that she went anywhere on Saturday.
Miss Stahl, do you know anyone who'd want to hurt Miss Castle?
Everyone loved Stacy. I can't even imagine anyone wanting to hurt her. I could never stay mad at her for anything.
Okay, let's talk about last night, the dinner party. You were there.
Yes, I was.
What time did you arrive?
It was 8:30 on the dot.
Who else was at the party?
Kevin, her boyfriend, Michael Holliday, her director, Brad, their producer, Richard and April something. It's Kevin's attorney and his fiance, Crystal and Heather, they're actresses.
Do you know Richard and April's last names?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
What about Maria Salazar? Wasn't she there?
Yes, Maria was there. She was in the kitchen most of the time, though.
Did anyone at the party have any arguments with Stacy recently? Any reason to be mad at her?
Of course not. We all loved Stacy. Except I don't know about Richard and April. I don't think they knew Stacy well enough to... I don't know anybody that's ever been mad at her. She was a sweetheart.
So you were all drinking at the party, correct?
Yes. Some more than others.
Who was drinking more than others?
Crystal and Heather. They always do. Nothing new. Except Maria. She was working.
Was there any drug use?
No. Stacy hated drugs and would never allow them in her home.
So drinking and not one argument?
No. We all had a wonderful night. I'm just glad Stacy enjoyed her last night with the people that she loved.
Do you know why Mr. Walters left for London last night?
He has business in London. Stacy wasn't too fond of the timing, but she understood that he had to go.
Why was she not fond of the timing?
She knew that if he went, that he wouldn't be able to attend dinner with her and her parents Thursday night. Oh my God, have you told them?
Miss Castle's parents?
Yes. Oh my God, they're gonna be...
We've informed them, yes. They're making the arrangements to fly to Los Angeles as we speak.
Miss Stahl, do you know anything about an argument between Miss Castle and Mr. Walters before he left the party?
No.
Are you familiar with the occult, Miss Stahl?
No? The occult? What does that have to do with...
The details surrounding the death of Miss Castle seem to be ritualistic in nature.
What does that even mean?
It means that we need to do our job and figure it out. What time did you leave the party last night?
It was sometime around 1, maybe? I'm not sure.
And everyone leave together, with the exception of Kevin?
Well, Maria stayed to clean up, and Richard and April left a little bit before the rest of us, but yes, we all left at the same time. Heather broke a heel on the way out on the steps. We were all laughing at her. I remember.
And where did you go when you left Miss Castle's?
Home. I was tired.
Is there anyone that can confirm that?
No, I didn't speak with anybody. Is that okay?
That's fine, Miss Stahl. That'll be all for now. This is just an initial gathering of information. If we need anything more from you, we can contact you.
Please. I want to know what happened. I want to help.
I assure you. I assure you, we will catch whoever did this, Miss Stahl. Thank you for your time.
Please, Detective. For her.
Just got done interviewing Miss Stahl. Have ever mentioned it's hard to read actors and actresses? Models, too. They know body language. Anyways, she seemed to want to help. I think we can count on her as of now. Also, we got the semen analysis results back. Miss Castle definitely had sex with someone last night. I'm about to interview Miss Castle's producer, Bradley Tipton. He looks like a nice guy. Mr. Tipton, I'm
I want my attorney now.
Have it your way.
Well, that went well. Morales went to follow up on a lead with Miss Castle's hairdresser. I also managed to track down Kevin Walters' attorney and his fiancée, April. They are on their way in. I'm going to speak with one of the victim's actress friends now, Miss Crystal Lang. Good afternoon, Miss Lang. I'm Detective Stone.
Is it seriously true? Stacy's dead?
Yes, Miss Lang, unfortunately it is.
We were just talking about doing a movie together yesterday. Her, Heather, and I.
Where were you when this conversation took place?
Chateau, Dresden. We ate lunch.
What time was that?
12:15.
Do you remember what time you left?
We were there about an hour. So 1:15, maybe?
Were you with Miss Castle Saturday evening?
Yes. Her and Heather and I We go dancing once a month. We never miss it.
Where did you go?
Powder Palms.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, you wouldn't be, Detective. It's a private club.
Do you remember what time you left the club?
Can't say that I really recall. 2 a.m. maybe?
How did you get home?
Heather and I took a cab back to my place.
And Miss Castle?
She took her own cab. Home, I believe.
How long have you known Miss Castle?
A few years. 2, maybe. We met doing a picture together.
You attended the dinner party last night, I assume?
You shouldn't assume, Detective. You know what they say. But yes, I was there.
Do you remember what time you arrived at Miss Castle's home?
It was 8:30.
Who else was there with you?
The usual. Heather, Kevin, Michael, Bradley, Trish. Yeah.
Miss Lang?
Sorry. Maria, the maid, and some people I didn't know. Richard and Anita, maybe?
April?
Yeah, that's it. I have never seen them before last night.
Do you know anything about them?
Not really. I don't think they would do anything to hurt Stacy, though. They seem like decent people.
I take it you were drinking?
Yes, too much. Heather had me topped, though. That girl was a mess.
Any illegal drugs?
Detective! I wouldn't tell you even if I did. But no.
Did anything seem out of place last night? Anything strange? Any arguments between anyone?
No. We just drank, had a good time, and laughed a lot.
Can you think of anyone who might want to hurt Miss Castle?
No. I can't. She didn't deserve this.
Miss Lang, did you happen to know if Miss Castle and Mr. Walters had sexual relations last night?
What? Definitely not. He left for London. We were all there together in the same room the whole night. Except she did go to the bathroom a while when he was packing, but she was only gone 5 minutes. I don't think they had time to.
If you could tell me what time you left last night and with whom, I'll let you be on your way.
I have no idea what time it was, but we all left at the same time. She practically kicked us out, and I practically carried Heather to the car.
What was wrong with her?
She couldn't walk. She was really messed up drunk.
Where did you go when you left Miss Castle's?
I took Heather home, and I stayed with her. I was a little drunk myself, and I didn't want to drive anymore.
And Miss Rowland will confirm that?
I would hope so. I held her hair back while she puked in the toilet for half the night.
Do you have any interest in the occult, Miss Lang?
The occult, Detective?
Yes.
What's that?
Evil, spirits, witchcraft. Do you enjoy these things?
Who enjoys evil, Detective? As for spirits, I believe in them, yes. And witchcraft? No, Detective.
Okay, Miss Lang. We will contact you if we need anything further. Thank you for your time. There's something about that one that I don't like. I'm not sure if I just don't like who she is as a person or because she is hiding something. Morales came back with some information. Apparently, according to Miss Castle's hairdresser, Giorgio Sala, Miss Castle received half a dozen roses and a note in her mailbox on Saturday morning prior to her hair appointment. The note was a creepy poem. Sala said it went something like, "The roses are red, and so is your blood, bitch. Who will be the one to spill it?" Sounds like someone wanted Miss Castle dead. Heather Rowland is next. Don't expect to get much out of this one. Looks like a hangover is taking its toll on her. I'm Detective Stone, and this is Detective Morales, Miss Rowland. As you know, we are investigating the death of Miss Castle. We would just like to ask you a few questions.
Of course. Anything to help. It's just unthinkable what happened to Stacy. I can't even imagine.
Imagine what, Miss Rowland?
Imagine what happened. If it even really happened. I think this is just a joke, honestly. I think Crystal and Stacy put you up to this to distract me while they plan my surprise birthday party.
Let me be frank, Miss Rowland. This is very real. Your friend Stacy Castle is dead. I don't think you have anything to do with this because, from what I hear, you were drunk beyond all belief last night. I also haven't eaten lunch, so if you would just answer a few questions, we can all go eat.
Oh my god. You're serious?
Very. You were at the party with Stacy, Kevin, Trish, Crystal, Michael, Richard, April, Bradley, and Maria, correct?
Bradley? Brad, yeah. That's who was there.
Anyone else?
Nope.
Did you overhear any arguments, or was anyone acting out of the ordinary?
Nope. Not that I can recall.
Did you know if Miss Castle had a sexual encounter with someone last night?
Well, Kevin left for... Oh.
Oh, Miss Rowland?
Well, she mentioned over lunch the other day that she had been seeing her personal trainer. She hinted at having him come over last night after Kevin left for London.
Let's see. Did she mention his name?
Patrick something. He's a real looker. I don't think... You think he...
I can't say for sure, Miss Rowland. I'll have to track him down and get a chance to talk with him before I determine that. You left with everyone else around 1 a.m., right?
I'm not sure what time it was, but I left with everyone else, yeah. I think I was pretty drunk.
And where did you go after you left?
Crystal drove me home.
Did she stay with you all night?
Yeah?
One more thing, Miss Rowland. Are you or any of Stacy's friends involved in the practice of witchcraft?
Is this a joke?
I'm afraid not, Miss Rowland.
Absolutely not. That shit scares the hell out of me, detective.
I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Rowland. Thank you for your time. That'll be all for now. Just as I thought, nothing fruitful. Except this Patrick, the personal trainer. Kevin's attorney, Richard Daly, and his fiancée, April Schaefer, have arrived. They're next. Mr. Daly, Miss Schaefer, I am Detective Stone, and this is Detective Morales. We know that you didn't know the victim, Miss Castle, very well, but we just need you to answer a few questions about last night.
I know the drill, Detective. Let's get this done.
Last night was the first time either of you met Stacy?
No, I met her last week at a fundraiser with Kevin, but it was brief. April met her last night, yes.
How long have you known Mr. Walters?
I've represented Kevin for 3.5 years. I've known him for a little while longer. Not sure exactly. We met in Miami at my office.
Do you still operate out of Miami, Mr. Daly?
No, I solely operate out of LA now.
What time did you arrive at Miss Castle's home last night?
It was at 8:30.
Yeah.
Did either of you partake in any illegal drugs or alcohol?
Alcohol, yeah. That's not a crime, as you know. Drugs, no. We do not do drugs, Detective.
Did you happen to notice anything out of the ordinary last night? Overhear anything that may have sounded odd?
I can't say that I did. Maybe with the exception of Heather. She kept asking irrelevant questions and speaking nonsense, repeating herself, drunkenly.
What was she saying?
I don't remember. There was something about mutants or something.
Mutant babysitter?
That's it. And something about Miss Castle's perfume.
I was asking about that too, honey. It smelled wonderful. She wouldn't tell us what it was.
Did you notice anything strange, Miss Schaefer?
I did.
Care to elaborate on that?
I went to the bathroom quite a few times. I have a small bladder when I drink. On one of my trips, I overheard Stacy and Kevin arguing about him going to London. She didn't want him to go. I remember hearing her say, "It's always bloody London. Always fucking bloody London." I think I heard her crying afterwards.
Love, stop talking.
Mr. Daly?
I cannot allow this to continue. This is leading my client, and there's somehow a conflict of interest here anyway. I want to help you find whoever killed Miss Castle, but not on the grounds of incriminating my own client. If you would like this to continue, then you will have to wait until your interview with my client when he returns from London.
Guess that sums up the bloody onion question. But also, good news, we figured out where the $17,000 went. Apparently, Miss Castle hired a private investigator to figure out who was trying to kill her. He just showed up. Let's see what he has to say. Can you state your name for the record?
Franklin Thomas Young.
You claim that Miss Castle hired you to figure out who sent her that note. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us the details of your conversation with Miss Castle?
Yes, she called. It was Sunday. I told her I don't work Sundays, so it was going to cost extra. She said money wasn't an issue and that she wanted to meet in private. So we met in the parking lot of a small motel named Mary's Ott in Santa Monica about 5:30, and she showed me the note she had received, as well as a half a dozen roses. She assumed it was a crazed fan that sent them to her, but she wasn't completely satisfied. She wanted to know who sent them, and she wanted me to find out. So I gave them the note out there, out front.
We have it here. This is the note that Miss Castle gave you, correct?
Yeah, that's it.
How did you know to come here?
Well, I was barely into my investigation today, and I drove by Miss Castle's home earlier, and I saw the crime scene. I came here to tell you what I know, and that's it. That's all I really know. She didn't give me much to go on. She overpaid me, so I took the case anyway.
How much did she pay you, Mr. Young?
$17,000.
Can you tell us anything else? Was Miss Castle acting strange when you spoke with her?
I mean, she seemed to be fine to me, just a little curious and cautious individual. Didn't notice anything strange, Detective. That's really all I know.
Mr. Young, do you know anything about the practices of the occult?
The occult? Oh no. I'm glad I'm not involved now.
What do you mean, Mr. Young?
I mean, I don't mess with that stuff. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
So you don't practice anything occultic by nature?
No, definitely not, Detective. Definitely not.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Young. We will contact you if we need anything further.
Do I get to keep the money?
Morales thinks he has a lead on the personal trainer. We're gonna go check that out. Still haven't eaten lunch. Gonna try out that new Chinese place on Alpine. Morales' lead paid off. Patrick Lockhart owns a health club in Malibu. He is indeed Miss Castle's personal trainer. He's being escorted downtown now. Mr. Lockhart, you're here because it is believed that you are the last person to see Miss Castle alive. Can you tell us, how long have you known Miss Castle?
About 6 months.
Where did you meet?
I took over for her previous PT when he suffered a broken leg. She decided to keep me even when he recovered.
Did you see Miss Castle last night, Mr. Lockhart?
Yes, I did.
Were you at the dinner party?
No. I showed up later. She called after everybody left. She said she was in the bath. She couldn't stop thinking about me. She asked me to come over. She said she wanted to be with me again.
What time did the phone call take place?
About 2.
And what time did you arrive at Miss Castle's?
It takes me about a half an hour to get there. I left almost immediately.
So, 2:30?
Yeah, about that.
Was the door locked when you arrived?
Yeah. But she gave me a key, so I let myself in.
And what did you do next?
I went up to her bedroom. She just walked out of the bathroom when I walked in.
Is this your phone number, Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Do you use cocaine, Mr. Lockhart?
Cocaine? Cocaine?
Cocaine, Mr. Lockhart. Did you use cocaine with Miss Castle last night?
I used it before, but not last night. She offered me some, and I refused.
What happened next after she came out of the bathroom?
That's when she offered me the cocaine.
After that?
She said she was sorry. I asked her why, and she said that she forgot to put on my favorite perfume. She said she left it in the car. I told her that was fine.
What happened after that?
After that, we made love, Detective. Do you want all the details of that, too?
You said that Miss Castle wanted to be with you again. How long have you been seeing Miss Castle?
A few months.
I take it Mr. Walters did not know about this affair.
Please don't call it that, Detective. We loved each other. She just couldn't be with me because of who she was and who I was.
Who were you, Mr. Lockhart?
Who I am, you know what I mean.
What happened after you and Miss Castle finished making love?
We just laid there, we talked.
About?
About us. About our future together. And him.
Him?
Kevin Walters.
What about Kevin Walters?
She said she was afraid of him. Afraid of what he might do if he found out about us. She said, you may already know something about roses.
What else?
Something. I don't know. I asked her to leave with me. Go to Vancouver with me. She said no. She told me I should go. I hesitated at first, but she was right. It wasn't time for anybody to find out about us yet.
So you left?
Yes, I went back home.
What time was it when you left?
I wasn't paying attention. It was almost 4 by the time I got home, though. I remember that.
Did you lock the door behind you when you left?
Yes, I made sure of it.
Did you lock it behind you when you came in earlier?
I'm not sure. I don't... No, I didn't.
You don't recall hearing anyone else in the house while you were there?
No, it was just us.
Is there anyone that can confirm that you weren't home?
No.
Mr. Lockhart, you understand that this confirms you as the last person to see Stacy Castle alive, don't you?
I do. Yes. But I didn't kill her, I swear. I would never do that. I love Stacy. I understand what is happening, though.
What is happening, Mr. Lockhart?
He kills her and I'm the fall guy.
He who?
Kevin Walters.
What makes you think that, Mr. Lockhart?
You know, it makes perfect sense. He hires someone to kill her while he's out of town on business. And he places the blame on the small town guy who actually works for a living and gets away scot-free.
What would Mr. Walters have to gain from the death of Miss Castle?
I'm not sure. All I know is that he didn't trust her and no one knew that, okay? She said she only told me about it.
We're going to have to detain you for a little while. We're going to want to ask you a few more questions.
I don't understand.
Right now, you need to help us understand, Mr. Lockhart. It isn't looking good for you right now.
I didn't kill Stacy. I swear to you. I loved her. I fucking loved her.
Mr. Lockhart, I'm going to be frank. Did you kill Stacy Castle?
No.
We will be back, Mr. Lockhart. Stay put. Well, it appears that Mr. Lockhart is leading the polls in our race for a suspect. I'm not sure if I'm a believer. Something about that man, I feel he's telling us the truth. But then who killed Miss Castle? Who was there? Why the ritualistic sacrifice? What's the significance of 3? And who sent the death note? We've got Lockhart in lockup. Still haven't been able to reach Mr. Walters and Mr. Tipton's attorney. He's on vacation. Fisher said he'd be finished with that micro-cassette by morning. Said there was some interesting stuff in there. So Morales and I have decided to sleep on it and start fresh in the morning. We've got a lot covered for one day. Stone out. Autopsy report was on my desk when I walked in this morning. She did in fact die from the single stab wound to the heart. Doc says there are some signs of minor blunt force trauma to the back of the head as well. Probably a hammer or a mallet. I'm guessing the same one used to put the hooks in the floor. It would appear that the killer hit her hard enough to knock her out, but not kill her. Long enough to tie her up, most likely. There was also bruising found around her wrists and ankles from the ropes. I also got back the micro-cassette from Fisher. He finished amplifying and cleaning up the second half of the tape for us. We are going to have a little listen-y-do.
I didn't know what I wanted. Not until now. I want you, Chet. I've always needed you. This is ridiculous. Who would fall for their kidnapper? I know what you are, Chet, and I understand why. Better than anyone. I want to be with you because how you make me feel, not because of what you do.
I'm afraid of what it might do to you. Margaret, if I ever hurt you, if anything ever happened, I could never forgive myself.
Oh, Chet, I know you would never. This is absolutely outrageous, Michael. Hello? that? What's going on? My husband will be home any minute.
You don't have a husband, Stacy. And Kevin left for London hours ago. No one is coming to see you.
Let me go! Help me! Somebody! Help me!
This is definitely some sort of ritual sacrifice, and there's definitely more than one person in that room with Miss Castle. Morales is on the phone trying to dig up something on the meaning of whatever the hell they were chatting about. I am going...
So, Morales, Captain wants to see you in his office now.
Hold that thought. Well, we are being pulled off the case. The FBI is here. Said they have a special task force for cult crimes, and they'll be taking over a load of shit. They asked us if we knew anything about some church of crosis or something. They're going to be taking everything we have on this. So, I guess it's farewell. Stone out. It's been about a week since we got kicked off the castle case. I can't shake it, though. I did a little digging on that church of transnecrosis. Came up with nothing. I thought they made that shit up. But then I remembered something.